Hey, hey, hey. Good morning, everybody. Good day, Tim. Good day, Gladys. It's good to see you. It's good to see you. Yes, yes, yes. Happy Monday. Happy Indigenous Day. Yes, we say woo to Christopher Columbus. And hey, to our people, who are people, right? Hey, good day, Pastor Alice. Good to see you. It's good to see you. I love that we're reclaiming this day, telling the truth. How about that? I really do love that. It reminds me of a story. Can I tell a quick story? I'm going to tell a really quick story. So, when the girls were probably in the second or third grade, we were in Target with my niece, and they were talking about having. My niece was talking about having um, Columbus Day off, right? And my girls didn't. They didn't have the that Monday off, and so it's her. My niece's name is Sydney, and so she was all excited because she had Monday off, and the girls was like, "Why do you have Monday off?" And she said, "Oh, because it's Christopher Columbus holiday, so we get the day off." Oh, so Pamela's saying that she can't see me. Really, Pamela? It might be something on your end. It looks like we're okay here. Yeah, we're okay here, Pamela. It might be something on your end. So, so she was excited. She had Christopher Columbus Day off, and so my girls were like, "Christopher Columbus Day," and so she was like, "Yeah, it's the holiday." And so my girls were like, "That's my husband peeping in right there." So the girls was like, "Christopher Columbus, why is that a holiday, right?" And so my niece said, because he discovered America. And so my girl said, he ain't discovered nothing. The Native Americans were here. How you going to discover something when people were already there? And I just cracked up laughing. I like let them have their conversation. I didn't jump in or anything, but it just filled my heart with so much joy to hear them say that. They were like in the second or third grade. It was fabulous. So anyway, all that said, here we are on Indigenous Day. Okay. And I hope everyone is doing well. If you have the day off from work, good for you. Do something good for yourself. Do something good for someone else. Discover something within yourself. How about that? All right. So, as you can see, I'm on location. We're going to call this Studio V. I'm in my cousin's bedroom right now, looking out. I wish y'all could see the view. I'm looking out of her window and I see the ocean and mountains in the same glance, which is just amazing to me. And it reminds me when I used to go to school in Santa Monica. It was that same dynamic, the ocean and the mountains. Oh, it's just so delicious. So I'm grateful to be on location in California, having a wonderful time, doing some family stuff, some work stuff, some love stuff, all that good stuff. And so it's Monday. And on Mondays, we do what? We do a new series most of the time. And so I was in contemplation really, really early this morning. I woke up really early. I couldn't sleep. And I was like, okay, could I get a download? Like, what are we talking about today? And it was a bunch of stuff. It was so much that I could not decipher it. And I said, okay, let me just go back to sleep. Let me see if I could go back to sleep. So I went back to sleep. And when I woke up, the first word that popped into my mind was practice. And I was like, really? That's what you got? That's what we do every day, right? We do practice, right? Welcome to Sip with Red Melissa, right? Where we practice because the perfection is in the practice. And Spirit said to me, you know what? But someone needs a reminder. Someone needs to be reminded why this is so important, why this is the first thing, why this requires practice, consistency, commitment, right? So I said, well, okay. I said, maybe I'm the one that needs reminding, right? Because sometimes when you travel, things start to get a little loose. right? Things start to get a little loose. But what doesn't get loose is like I eat every day, right? That doesn't get loose. But sometimes that practice, I brush my teeth every day, right? I charge my phone every day. That never gets loose. But sometimes we could slip up with our spiritual practice. So somewhere, somehow, someone may need this reminder. And I can admit that that someone may be me. So it just so happened that I have my 30-day mental diet book with me. That is not by accident. Why do you have this? You packed and you said, "Oh, let me grab this book." Why? I had no idea at the time, but I do now because Spirit wanted me to read something to y'all from this book today. And y'all know this is one of my favorite books, The 30-Day Mental Diet. If you do not have the 30-Day Mental Diet in your life, you need to. It's by Willis Kinnear. And I used to do a 30-day mental diet workshop, and I'm going to do one again. I'm thinking in January because it's a great way to kick off the new year. So this is what I want to share with you all. Because sometimes we have to start from the beginning, right? And the wonderful thing about starting from the beginning is that you're not starting over again, right? Because it's all been accumulating. It all accumulated. And you know what? I experienced this phenomenon through walking, jogging, right? And Sekou has too. Sekou has too, right? So I'll go days without going out, walking and running, walking and jogging, and then think that, oh God, I got to start all over again, right? I'm going to have to build up my stamina all over again. But for some reason, that is not my experience. I'm stronger. I could go farther. It's amazing. So it's not starting over again from scratch, from zero. It isn't. You accumulate that energy, that power source, right? The same thing with your practice. So that's why it's important. Even if you missed a couple of days, don't feel like, oh man, I got to start all over again. No, you're going to pick up right where you left off because God is just waiting for you, like, she'll be back. Wait, just wait a minute. Here she come. Here she come. Okay, all right, let's go. Right? God ain't like, now where you been? What happened? I don't care about all that. Just come on. Let's just do this. Come on now. All right. So don't beat yourself up about it. Be gentle with yourself. All right. All right, Nan. All right. Yes, Lindsay. Lindsay said, I am in for the 30-day mental diet journey in January. Okay, girl. There you go. So this is what I wanted to share. And this is at the very end of the book. Is the 30th day. And this is what Willis says. He says, as you move on from this into more and more 30-day periods of your life, it must be remembered that consistency is of the utmost importance. What could be more important in your life than allowing such special times for the benefit of all other times of your day? This is so true. You do your spiritual practice for, even if it's just a 3-3-3-3, right? You do your spiritual practice consistently. It gives you, it doesn't run out of power, right? It doesn't run out of power throughout the day. If you start your day off with your spiritual practice, you have the benefit of that the rest of your day. The rest of your day, right? To benefit all other times of your day. There must be the doing on your part before there can be any results. The future can hold much more than you realize for you, for those you love, and for those with whom you associate. If you start creating that future now, what happens tomorrow is but the lengthened shadow of thoughts you have today. Ah, I love that. I love that. What happens tomorrow is but the lengthened shadows of thoughts you have today. And the best place to get your thinking right is by starting your day with your spiritual practice. So, if you're new to SIP, my spiritual practice looks like this. I do inspirational reading, right? Right now, my inspirational reading is my Science of Mind magazine, because it has the daily guides, and my 365 Days of Daily Living, A Richer Living by Ernest Holmes and Raymond Charles Barker. That's my go-to. That's like consistent. I might throw something else in there every now and then, but that's my consistent go-to for 2021. And then I do journaling. And the journaling is usually something that's inspired within me. So I'm not journaling about complaining. I'm not journaling about what went wrong. I'm not journaling about other people. I'm not journaling about what I could have done. I'm journaling about what it is that I want to experience in my day. I'm journaling about what it is that I want. I might ask Spirit a question, right? If I need some clarity, and then I wait to see what's going to come through, and it just comes through when I'm writing. So even on those days where I said, I don't really have anything to write about, I'll write. I don't really have anything to write about. Spirit, you got something for me to write about? And every single time, y'all, every single time, something comes through, right? If you don't write, nothing will come through. So just do it. Just do it, right? And then I do meditation, and it could be a guided meditation. What I'm practicing in meditation now is meditating in the silence, which is very, very challenging for me, right? But it's practice. It's practice. And then I end with prayer, right? A gratitude prayer, a prayer for others, a prayer for the planet. So I do a prayer to wrap that up. And so that might look like, 3 minutes of each of those things. It might look like more, right? Most times it is more, but it doesn't have to be like hours, right? It's just a consistency of doing it every day that accumulates in your consciousness, So I wanted to share something else. And where did I find what I'm going to share next with you? This is where I found it. In this book. Okay. All right. So this is from the Science of Mind magazine. And I just ripped a page out and stuck it in the book. This was from January 9th, 2021. And this is what it says. Spiritual practice helps us pay attention to the places where our minds drift during the day. And we may find that we may need to redirect our minds into areas of greater health and wisdom, right? Because our minds wander, right? I know mine does. Wanders to the past, wanders to the future, wanders to all kinds of places and things, right? But our spiritual practice helps us to pay attention to that, to be on alert, right? And say, oh, where you going? Oh, no. No, we don't think like that anymore. This is what we're thinking. Because we all have a default thinking. We have default thoughts, right? And so what our spiritual practice helps us to do is upgrade those default thoughts, right? So if my default thought is, I am not worthy, that was a default thought. Anytime something happened in my house, in my life, it was because it was me. Something about me wasn't worthy of it, right? That ain't my default thought anymore. Oh no, my default thought is I am joy. I am joy. I am worthy of all good because I am good. Look at me. I'm fabulous, right? Make that your default thought. Whatever your quality of God is, make that your default thinking. And it happens through practice. You just can't say it. You got to do it. You got to be it. You got to feel it. You got to know it. You got to trust it. right? Your default thinking is no joke. Why is no joke? Is because it was planted way back in the day, right? It's part of our conditioning as children. Those default thoughts get planted there. And so now we have the opportunity to shift it, to change it through practice, not just once a month, every single day is where change happens in what you do every single day. Yes? The other little thing that I wanted to share is this. Our habitual thoughts are what guides the way in which we live our lives. Now you don't have to believe that. You are experiencing it right now. Our habitual thoughts are what guide the ways in which we live our lives. We see it, right? It is what gets out pictured in our lives, right? So let's spend time. I feel like, yes, this is the beginning again, right? But we ain't starting all over from scratch because we know. And so we're just going to practice it more and more and more and more. Deeper and deeper. You want to go deeper, you have to go higher in consciousness. The two work together hand in hand perfectly. All right? So I think that's it that I have for today. So I think our new series for this week is practice. Mm-hmm. It is practice. That's what we're going to do together again. All right? All right, y'all. All right. So let me tell you who I am. I am Rev Melissa. I am an ordained interfaith minister. I am a religious science practitioner. I am a purpose coach, and I am the spiritual director at Rockland CSL. And I say that I am living life in joy because I am connected to my yes. I'm connected to my yes. And if you need support living life in whatever your quality of God is, you can reach out to me, DM me on any of the platforms, and I will reach out to you and we can set up some time to talk. All right, y'all. So if you need help with your practice, sometimes you need a little help with your practice. Oh, I just got a download. Said Red Mel do a workshop on spiritual practice. Really? All right. You know October, right? October is my month. So maybe we'll do a spiritual practice workshop in October. Part of my birthday celebration. Mm-hmm. All right. All right. I think that was the mountains talking to me. All right, y'all. So let's get into some joy news. Joy news. Nan, was that a yes to a spiritual practice workshop? All right. So I got a co-sign on the 30-day mental diet in January, and I got a co-sign on spiritual practice workshop. Hey, Jill. Hey, Jill. It's good to see you. Yes, Nan is confirming. Yes, that's what that was. Okay. All right, y'all. So it is, and so it is. So some joy news. Living life in joy. Did y'all see it yesterday with Sekou? Sekou was the host yesterday. I know he did it. Sekou, I didn't watch it yet, but I know it was fabulous. As a matter of fact, okay, we can talk when Sekou comes up. So the host, put that back up again, Sekou. I love those. Look at this flyer, y'all. Now, if this is not some black men deliciousness, look at this flyer. Oh, I love everything about it. So then you have Sekou, he's the guest host, and Judah Bernard was his guest yesterday. The Rise Creating Your Voice. So we're going to talk about that just a little bit at the end. And I know it was wonderful. If you didn't see it, watch the replay. Thank you, Sekou, for holding it down for me, as you always do. Please save the date, Meditating with the Moon. We're doing the full moon, and that is happening on October 20th, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, right where you're watching me now. And afterwards, we have a after party on Zoom. So the reason why the Meditation with the Moon is so important and special and nourishing is because we do a full spiritual practice. And with the new moon, we did a visioning practice, a visioning process. And so it's just something to feed your spirit and your soul. It's wonderful. So if you haven't done it, you keep saying, oh, I'm going to do it the next time, Red Mel. Come on now. Just come on. So 11 p.m. Eastern Time, October 20th, right where you're watching me now. And I will keep reminding you all. Okay? All right. So let me check in with Sekou. I know living life in joy was off the chain.
It was good. It was good. I'm gonna put the flyer back up. So this is Judah Bernard. This was literally only our third time speaking. He and I met during New York Fashion Week when I did that event for Essence with my bracelets. When I was in Fashion Week displaying my bracelets, and we connected. And it turns out that he spent a period of time being unhoused, and so that really resonated with me. And so I wanted to talk to him about that. So that's what we talked about yesterday. And it was really deep because he said some things I did not expect. And one of the things he said that I didn't expect is he talked about standing in the gap. And I was like, oh, I said it immediately. I was like, oh, Rev Melissa talks about that all the time. So there was that. And then also he talked about being unhoused as just one of several levels. Like being physically unhoused is a part of being mentally unhoused. Like you got to get your
Mm,
mind right. You got to get your mindset right. Because I was asking him how he got out of that situation. He was like, it's about getting your mind right. It's about getting your spirituality right. And then you get housed physically. You got to house yourself mentally and
mm,
spiritually first to get housed. I was like, come
mm,
on now. Come
mm.
on now. And then he also works with that population too. He talks about people who choose to be unhoused. Like we always think that they're in need, but he was talking about a group of folks that are like, now this is where I want to be. I'm off the grid now. You're
Yeah.
not putting me back on the grid. So it was a really interesting talk. If you missed it, check it out. It was surprising in a lot of different ways.
Oh, I love that. I love that. You know, there's a huge unhoused population here in California. And we were talking about it yesterday with some of my cousin's friends. And one of the women was sharing that she rides a bike and she went a different route and she wind up in one of the tent, they call them tent cities, right? And she said this woman, she noticed this woman, she had her, she had her tent, and she was quite some distance from her, and she was making some movements, but she really couldn't tell exactly what she was doing. And then she realized she was sweeping. So she was sweeping all around her area where her tent is. And it was like, it was just, yes, she is unhoused, right? However, the care and the attention that she was putting into whatever her situation is was beautiful. She's, I imagine she was like, yes, I'm here. Maybe she is one that's off the grid and chooses to live unhoused. And so she's going to take care of her space.
Right.
She's going to take care of her space. And in conjunction with that, if she's taking care of her outer space, she's also taking care of her inner space.
Yeah.
But we make a judgment,
We
right?
do.
We make a judgment. And
We
so
do.
we need to practice
Yeah.
no judgment. No
Yeah.
judgment. We don't
It's
know everybody's story.
it's hard work. It's hard
Yeah.
work. And I
Yeah.
mentioned to him, so two serendipitous moments. There were two serendipitous moments. We had that interview yesterday. And then after the interview, I found out that yesterday was World Homeless Day. And I was like, okay, universe, I see how that lined up. We didn't plan that. There was that. And then the second thing was I told him on the show that Fee King, who I interviewed for your show a couple weeks ago, was talking about her neighbor. She told me about her neighbor who was priced out of his home. And so now he's unhoused, but he still hangs out in the neighborhood. And he hit the lotto. And she was asking him if he was going to get an apartment now. He was like, no, I'm good. God's got me. And this is his choice now to be in this space. And yeah, we make these assumptions about where we think people are, what we think people need. But the more I worked in this community, the more I realized how many different levels there are. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
this vastness in the space of the unhoused community, which which is a great place for me to explore and also like unpack my own assumptions.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Yeah. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Ah, yes, Lindsay. It was great. I shared it with son that works with the unhoused. Yes, yes, yes. And I saw your post, Sekou, about one thing we could do with the languaging, right? The
Yeah, to
languaging.
change the word. So yesterday for World Homeless Day, I posted that we need to change that word to unhoused because that's what I learned. Like I
Yeah.
came into this community saying homeless, and I heard people saying unhoused around me, and I was like, oh wait now. And then so ultimately I asked about it because I was like, why? And it's just like destigmatizing and not othering. And there's so
Yeah.
many different things that resonate for me. But what resonated the most was the idea that there, but for the grace of God, go I. And
Mm-hmm.
you interviewed Ramona Curtis, who runs Unhoused St. Louis, and she talked about being college educated, husband, house, all that stuff. It ended up unhoused just because of a divorce.
Yeah.
Like these things happen. Like there's a slim margin that we don't realize how slim that margin is between someone not being unhoused and being unhoused. So it's just
Yeah.
so many things.
It's so many things. It's so many things. Because none of us, when you really think about it, none of us are really homeless. We're home, right? We're home. We're home.
Yep, that's what Judah said yesterday. You got to get home here
Yeah.
first, and
Yeah.
other things happen from that.
Yeah. Yeah. And even that is a practice.
It's a
Because
practice.
some of us could
All
be
practice.
living in some fabulous houses
Right,
and we're still not home.
right,
Mm,
right, right.
mm,
Yeah,
mm.
it's all practice.
It's all
It's all
practice.
practice.
All right, y'all. All right. All right. Thank you, Sekou. There you have it. Don't you love how the universe just lines up things so perfectly? I know I do. So let's trust that. Let's trust that. Get in alignment every day by starting with your spiritual practice. Mm, yes, starting with your spiritual practice. And we're going to continue. All right. All right, everybody. Y'all have a wonderful day. It's good to see you all as always. Thank you, Gladys, for your love. Lindsay, Wayne, everybody that's here, Nan, everybody, thank you for your energy. I so appreciate you. So, peace and blessings, peace and justice. We're living life in joy, connected to our yes.